Welcome to this explainer. Now, if you follow global healthcare at all, you already know India's historic reputation, right? For decades, it has literally been the undisputed pharmacy of the world. We're talking about the massive engine room manufacturing the vast majority of the globe's affordable generic drugs. But while the entire world was busy watching those manufacturing lines, a massive, totally unnoticed shift was taking place in the laboratories. We are witnessing a complete evolution right now. India is moving away from just copying existing molecules to actually discovering cutting-edge, novel drugs.
Okay, let's dive into this core tension. So on one side, we have the old identity, generics and manufacturing. High volume, low margin, heavily reliant on intellectual property created somewhere else. But on the other side, we have this totally new frontier, novel IP and discovery. This is all about being the inventor for the world. And that requires deep research, high risk, and honestly, immense patience. We're talking about a massive transition here, from mass-producing what others have designed to fundamentally creating the medicine of the future.
To prove this systemic industry shift isn't just some fluke, here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the baseline shift from generics to Global Inventor. Then, we'll break down an FDA antibiotic breakthrough, explore affordable cancer cell therapy, check out AI-discovered drug licensing, and finally, look at the structural leap forward. We're going to explore 3 highly relatable milestones across chemistry, biology, and artificial intelligence.
Section 1, Generics to Global Inventor, the baseline shift. It's important to realize these 3 incredible breakthroughs didn't just happen overnight. They actually matured in parallel, quietly setting the stage over the last decade for a total evolution in the global pharmaceutical landscape. Number 2, the FDA antibiotic breakthrough, a 16-year journey. Our first milestone takes us straight into the world of complex chemistry and antibiotic resistance. This is the story of Orchid Pharma's Enmetazobactam, and it is a monumental proof of concept, proving India can invent a new chemical entity from scratch and survive the absolute most rigorous regulatory approvals on the planet. Just look at this timeline. It perfectly illustrates the immense patience required for novel drug discovery. Starting way back in 2008, a team of scientists at Orchid Pharma in Chennai invented a molecule called AAI-101. What followed was a grueling 16-year development process. They out-licensed the molecule to a German company to run the clinical trials, and then the payoff. January 2024, it gets a European Medicines Agency recommendation. And then, February 2024, the huge breakthrough, US FDA new drug approval. It became the first ever invented in India new chemical entity to get US FDA approval. It was also approved by the UK and India's CDS Co. That is a global grand slam for an Indian invention. So what exactly did they invent? It's called a beta-lactamase inhibitor. Let's break down that jargon for a second. This molecule actually has no direct antibacterial activity itself. It doesn't kill bacteria. Instead, it acts like a crucial shield. See, superbugs produce these enzymes that destroy our traditional antibiotics. But this new Indian-invented molecule, it inhibits those destructive enzymes. It essentially rescues older antibiotics and makes them work again against complicated urinary tract infections caused by severe pathogens like E. coli. It's just brilliant chemistry. Section 3, Affordable Cancer Cell Therapy, the biological disruption. Let's move to and see how this builds, because we are now shifting from small molecule chemistry to some seriously complex biology. This is the incredible underdog story of NextCAR-19. To truly grasp the magnitude of this, we have to understand what CAR T cell therapy actually is. This isn't just a pill you swallow, it's a living drug. A patient's own immune T cells are extracted from their blood, sent to a lab, and genetically re-engineered to specifically hunt down CD19-positive cancer cells. Then, these supercharged cells are infused right back into the patient to create a durable remission. It's one of the most advanced, complex, living cell therapies in existence, used when all conventional leukemia and lymphoma treatments have completely failed. Normally, developing a living drug is reserved for the deepest pockets in Western Big Pharma. But incredibly, this was designed on a total shoestring budget starting in 2013 at IIT Bombay. It spawned a startup called ImmunoAct, and after a decade-long collaboration with the Tata Memorial Center for Clinical Trials, they got it done. By October 2023, they won approval as India's first humanized CD19 CAR T cell therapy, and the results? They showed a roughly 70% overall response rate with significantly lower toxicity compared to commercial alternatives. It is a true David versus Goliath triumph. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer visceral impact of the economics. Advanced therapies are completely useless if no one can afford them, right? U.S. counterparts from giant pharma companies cost around $400,000 per infusion. But Nexcar-19, it launched in India for about 30 lakh rupees, which is roughly $36,000. That is an almost 90% price drop. By mid-2025, over 350 patients across 70 hospitals had already received this life-saving infusion. It just proves that cutting-edge biology can absolutely be made viable for resource-constrained settings without sacrificing safety or efficacy.
Moving to Section 4, AI-discovered drug licensing, the algorithmic reversal. Our third milestone takes us into the bleeding edge of tech, artificial intelligence. This is the story of Peptris Technologies, and it represents a complete algorithmic reversal of how the global pharma business usually works, proving AI drug discovery isn't just a Western narrative.
Peptris is a Bengaluru-based startup that built a generative AI deep learning platform focused entirely on rare and neglected diseases. Their lead asset, PPR124, is India's first AI-discovered drug candidate. And what's truly amazing here is the target, Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It's a rare pediatric disease that large pharma companies frequently overlook because the financial incentives just aren't there. But AI changes the cost and the speed of discovery. It allows innovators to target these forgotten diseases by rapidly simulating molecular interactions without needing all that expensive physical lab testing right from day one.
And this brilliantly illustrates a total reversal of the traditional global pharma script. Traditionally, the US invents a drug and India manufactures it. But Peptris split that entirely. Step 1, the Indian AI platform identifies the candidate. Step 2, they develop the preclinical asset. And Step 3, in March 2025, they execute a reverse licensing agreement with US-based Revio Therapeutics. So India invents the novel algorithmic IP, licenses it to the West for global development, but cleverly keeps the commercialization rights for the BRICS nations.
Finally, Section 5, the structural leap forward, a global evolution. Let's bring all of this together. What we are looking at isn't just a series of isolated lucky breaks. It is a massive structural leap forward. India has successfully mastered novel chemistry with N-midazobactam, novel advanced biology with Nexcar-19, and novel algorithms with Peptris, all invented domestically and all meeting incredibly strict global standards.
So the crucial point is, this isn't just about India. It's about the entire global South. Take a look at this quote regarding a January 2026 licensing deal. Cipla struck an agreement to take ImmunoAC's CAR-T therapy to South Africa, Algeria, and Morocco. The deal was explicitly framed as recreating Cipla's HIV moment for cancer in Africa. Decades ago, Indian generics made HIV drugs affordable for Africa. Now, Indian inventions are about to do the exact same thing for advanced cancer cell therapies. It is a repeating global phenomenon that is genuinely democratizing healthcare.
Which leaves us with this massive final question. For half a century, the geographic lines of medicine were strictly drawn. The West invented and the East manufactured. But as we've seen today, across chemistry, biology, and AI, those lines have been permanently erased. So if the global South is no longer just manufacturing but inventing the very future of medicine, what does the future of global healthcare look like? I will leave you to ponder that one. Thank you so much for joining this explainer, and keep questioning the world around you.